This is episode 10, and yes, to celebrate this episode, I'm going to be pulling quite a heavy ton. The heaviest load I've pulled so far in this game, 1,044 ton. And now we can go ahead and get the DH4. Here comes the Diesel Hydraulic Locomotive 4 license, and we're just about to purchase that in career mode. And there we go, we got the DH4. Now we can go and drive it. And I'm just looking at the whole slew of licenses and certifications that I've got so far in career mode. It's quite the collection, but I don't think that's going to stop me from making some really silly mistakes today. So this is the DH4. This is the beast that we'll be driving today in career mode finally. Oh, look at this thing. It's beastly. It's a diesel mechanical locomotive. It's got torque converters, it's got a 3-speed transmission, and hopefully it's going to help us pull 1,000 plus tons today. Oh boy, here we go. DH4 meet DE2. And hopefully you guys will get along in this episode. That red light's really flashing. Oh no! Did you see that flash? I think we've lost a locomotive. This is not good. I think we're going to stall the train. I think this 1,000-ton run is done. Get ready for the fireworks part 2. We've really done it now, I think. Hello everyone, and welcome to the channel. Welcome back to those of you who are already subscribed, and for those who have just joined the channel as well, or new viewers, welcome aboard as well. This is episode 10 of my Derail Valley Simulator career mode playthrough, and you can see here it's been raining a little bit, hasn't it, overnight. In the last episode, card up above, you'll know that, or you may know, may not know. If you didn't see the video, feel free to check it out. Episode 9, we did take this slug combo, these two DE2 shunters and this massive slug in between them. And we took a fairly modest load of around 200 ton or so, thereabouts, just over 200 ton. From City Southwest up here to Food Factory and Town. Now, the two DE2s probably could have done the 200 ton load on their own, but I've just hooked up a slug to bring them here. And if you don't know what the slug is, go ahead and check out episode 8. That's actually where I get a little bit of an introduction to the slug. So card above for episode 8 if you haven't already seen that one. I got a bit of a rude shock with the slug actually in that episode, but anyway, this is episode 10, and yes, to celebrate this episode I'm going to be pulling quite a heavy ton. The heaviest load I've pulled so far in this game, 1,044 ton, from Food Factory, which is where we are right now, all the way down to Steel Mill. Now, it's not a long way to go by any stretch. Like I said in the last episode, we did come up from City Southwest all the way up to here. And I feel like that's a bit of a longer distance than what we'll be doing today. But today's load is going to be heavy. 1,044 ton. Okay. So, yeah, we've got some inclines along the way here. We do have a nice set of straight section as well, but we've got a really bad incline just before Steel Mill SM, which is our final destination for today's job. So, anyway, before we get too sort of caught up in the details and things like that, what I need to do is just pay some fees, buy some licenses. So yeah, this is the job we'll be doing, as I mentioned, and we do have a fair amount of cash in the old wallet from the last job, $76,000. Now our copay at the moment is a little bit high, but not too bad. We've got some fees from the last episode there for these two DE2s, but overall not too bad. We did blow a traction motor there in one of these DE2s in the last episode. That's why the fees there are a little bit higher on one of them than the other one. But apart from that, I think you'll find that, yeah, it's only going to cost me $5,000 here to clear out those fees. So that's good. To be honest with you, I'm a little bit confused about this copay at the moment, because it says here 18 grand, yet I only had to pay 5 that time. So not too sure what's going on there, but our copay total is 18K anyway. So, and we've still got 70K in our wallet, so I think it's time to buy more licenses, and it's time to basically, yeah, advance a little bit further in our career mode. So what I'm going to do is, there is a DH4 diesel hydraulic locomotive nearby, but in order to drive that locomotive, we need to buy a license. But I just got this message here saying I need to buy yet another license first before we can do that. Okay, so we need to get train length 2. All right, wow, okay. It's going to be like this, is it? We're going to have to spend pretty much all our money once again in career mode, unfortunately, and just go down to the wire with our wallet and hope nothing goes wrong, because if something goes wrong, I've only got $866 left after I buy the licenses that I'm going to need right now. So train length 2 is what we need, so that's 20k. And here goes $20,000. Let's just print out the sample first. Yeah, okay, so we can actually pull trains of unlimited length. Okay, no limit of cars. So yeah, that's quite dangerous, isn't it? Interesting. So in order to get the DH4 license, I did need to get this. So train length 2, and now we can go ahead and get the DH4. Here comes the diesel hydraulic locomotive 4 license, and we're just about to purchase that in career mode. And there we go, we got the DH4. Now we can go and drive it. Now, if you don't know what the DH4 is, I did do a video on the DH4 since this new Derail Valley simulator was released, and you'll find that card above as well. Sorry for all the cards, but I thought why not check out me driving the DH4 if you haven't already. Now, I don't actually pull 1,000 tons like I'm about to do in this video, but you'll see that the DH4 is quite an interesting locomotive. It's got those torque converters and whatnot. And I'm just looking at the whole slew of licenses and certifications that I've got so far in career mode. It's quite the collection, but I don't think that's going to stop me from making some really silly mistakes today. So yes, here is our job for today. This is 1,044 tons going from Food Factory, where we are right now, over to the steel mill. Now, like I said, it's going to be not a very long run today, but there are going to be some inclines along the way. So along with the straights, there's going to be a really sharp section there of incline, and I believe there's a few more inclines just heading out of here as well. But anyway, let's go ahead and see how we go. Now, we are using the DH4 as the main prime moving locomotive today, but I am also going to take along with me these 2 locomotives and this slug unit, which I bought along from the last episode, just as a helper sort of unit that's going to be behind the DH4, the big diesel hydraulic locomotive, which you haven't quite seen yet, unless you have seen my previous video on the DH4. But yes, what I'm doing here is I'm just going to release all the handbrakes, because why not? And just go and, yeah, okay, everything was decoupled from last time, that's fine. What I want to do is we need to pull forward, and we need to go into C70. So I think that's right around here, actually, just over to the left. Here it is, no, C20. Yes, this is it right here, C70, sorry, or C70. It looks like a 0 on the signs, but an O on the actual job sheet. But anyway, this is it right here, on the right hand side, these cars right here, those little box cars anyway. A whole bunch of scrap metal, which is very heavy. These ones right here, these green ones, see them? I know I'm just kind of going all over the place right now. So yes, these ones right here, okay. Got it. Okay, very good. Now what we need to do is just move this entire unit forward. So I'm just going to fire up this first locomotive here. I don't need them all running for this. And we're just going to pull on forward, and we're going to go ahead and connect up to these wagons over on the left hand side. So let's just go and do that now. Okay, so I'm just coming out here into the main kind of section out of this yard, and I'll just put the brake on, just a handbrake here on this one engine, which is not really going to slow us down, but anyway, that's fine. Should do the job in just a second. Okay, I think that's it. Whoops, actually I've gone way too far. The switch is all the way back here. Whoopsies, never mind. Yep, so we need to go into that yard there. So let's just go ahead and set that up right now. Okay, this is the siding where we'll need to pull into. Okay, C70 or C70, whatever. Alright, let's go back to the locos and reverse them in. And then what we'll do is we'll head on over and get that DH4, that massive beast of a diesel hydraulic. And then we'll finish off the train by putting that huge locomotive in front of these ones that I'm just running towards right now. Right, so just pulling in now, and we'll be coupling up to these wagons. Just one job today. I did 2 jobs in the last episode, episode 9, and just made use of that concurrent licenses job that license that I've got at the moment, which means I can do more than one job at once. I just thought today, I think 1,000 tons. Oh no, slow down. This handbrake's not doing what it's meant to do. Brace yourself. Okay, well, we just rammed into 1,000 tons there. But at least we didn't break any glass this time, or at all. Actually, I haven't broken any glass yet in Derail Valley, I must say. I think I'm doing okay. As you can probably tell, I base my achievements on whether or not I've broken glass yet in this game. Okay, looks like I'm gonna have to run to the other side of the train, so let's do that. Alright, this is the last wagon. Or first wagon, depending on... Ooh, now the train's actually moving, it seems. Anyway, don't think it's moving. Don't move. Don't want you rolling away. Should be level ground. Okay, so this is the DH4. This is the beast that we'll be driving today. In career mode, finally, we have made it. Almost made it when you know that you've got the DH4. Look at this thing, it's beastly. It's a diesel mechanical locomotive. It's got torque converters, it's got a 3-speed transmission, and hopefully it's going to help us pull 1,000+ tons today. Oh boy, here we go. Right, let's step inside this thing. Now, it's got a little bit of a... Ooh, look at that headlamp. Interesting kind of entry here. That's not many guard or guardrails on the side. Anyway, yes, this is the old faithful DH4, which I haven't really driven much in this game so far. But yes, I have driven it one time already, as I mentioned before, recently in that video, that I took this thing for a bit of a run. Now, this thing actually is rated a little bit higher than the DM3, the diesel mechanical locomotive. It's got this interesting engine and turbine RPM gauge here, which I did go through in that previous video with the DH4 when I put the card up above earlier. So, oops, yep, let's go ahead and just get everything going here. Electrics and starter power. And we'll just close these breaker box and start the engine. Oops, need to hold down the starter. There we go. Okay, so it's idling away now and more or less ready to go. Now what we need to do is just pull on out of here, but before we do that, we do need to, well, let's just get the... Let me just get acquainted with this here. Horn. Excellent. Right. Now, we've got the throttle here, got our reverser. We'll just go reverser forward and a little bit onto the throttle. Handbrake's off, brakes are off. And we need to pull forward and then we need to spin this thing around 180 degrees because, yes, there's a turntable right there and we are heading off in this direction behind us. So we need to spin this thing around ideally, so that we're facing the right way, so that our controls are in front of us all the time. That's always a ideal thing to have. Let's get some cab lights going here. And yes, I'm just going to go forward and then reverse up into this turntable section. So let's do that now. Here's the set of points that we need to throw. There we go. That will take us into our turntable. Now this thing does have a multi-unit cable. So we will be able to hook this thing up to the slug, in case you're wondering. And we will be able to control all of the DE2s with it as well. And I realize it's probably not the most compatible combo I've got going here, because this thing is a very powerful locomotive. And I've heard that the power, obviously, power output is not really matched well with the DE2s. The transmission is different, the heat levels, heat ranges, this thing has its own transmission cooler and all that kind of stuff, so it can deal with a lot more workload and a lot more abuse than those little DE2s that I'm going to be connecting it to. So one thing to just be mindful of, I think, today is not to overstress those little shunters that's going to be connected up to this thing. And I'm hoping that the warning lights will show in the cab if the DE2s are being pushed too hard, because this thing has a lot more tolerance for abuse. Okay, so anyway, yes, we can see there is a very imposing locomotive indeed. Let's get this turntable turned around. Just get this thing spun around 180 degrees, just like I said. just so that it's facing the right way. And then what we'll do is we'll reverse on out of here, and then we just need to pick a siding and then run around the train to the front, and then we'll reverse in so that this thing is the lead locomotive. So let's go ahead and just go through that yard, shall we? So nice and easy on the throttle here as we get off the turntable. Handbrake off ideally. Okay, we need to pull all the way back here, and then I'll flip the points at the very end, just before that tunnel section, and then we'll pull on forward and then hook up with our train. Okay, so I found this little section here off to the side. You can see there the engine RPM and turbine RPM gauge there, just reading away. That's going to make a whole lot more sense in just a moment once we start putting some load behind this thing. Right now the engine is running light, so not much load on it. It speeds up very quickly with just a little bit of throttle. So I've got to make sure it doesn't run away from us. Yes, very interesting kind of torque converter setup there. And there's our train. On the left hand side, there's our slug combo with the DE2s. There's the trailing DE2, the slug, and the leading DE2 shunter. So as I said, this thing does have a multi-unit connector, and because we've got the multi-unit license, we'll be able to hook these locomotives together, and I can issue commands from any locomotive in the stack, and they will all react to that same command, which is great, what we want. The only issue, like I said before, is these locomotives aren't really compatible or matched. Well, they are compatible, but they're not matched in the best way. So, like I said, have to go easy on the throttle so that we don't blow up the DE2s behind us. Okay, let me go flip these points and then I'll back into the train. Okay, so nice and easy, just going to connect up here, DH4 meet DE2, and hopefully you guys will get along in this episode. There we are, all hooked up. Let's go ahead and just hook up the DH4 now. And we'll just go ahead and hook up the multiple unit cable. I'm not going to go ahead and do any shenanigans with disconnecting and reconnecting multi-unit cables in this episode, because yes, we have 1,000+ tons behind us, so we're going to need all the power we can summon, I think. And with that, let us get out of here finally. Just go ahead and put this map down here, this world map. Nice little area here on the dash. So yes, we're here at Food Factory in town. Like I said, we will be heading directly out in that direction there. So over to the east, and we'll be heading down. There's a set of points over to the right need to go, and then bear right, and then straight through, and then all the way down to the steel mill. Now, there's going to be a few inclines on the way, and there's going to be a set of inclines coming out of here as well, I think. So there's going to be definitely a bit of a hard pull coming out of here, so just gonna have to make sure that yeah, we pass through over that set of inclines just prior to the steel mill as well. Anyway, I think enough yammering on. Finally, let's get moving. So brakes, make sure the brakes are working. Yes, brakes are working. No warning lights, handbrake is off. All the other handbrakes are off, I'm pretty sure. Nice and quiet now that I've closed the door. Engines are running. And let's go ahead and just add the power on. So, you can see there that this is a rather heavy train. So you don't want to just jam the throttle on like that. Want to just take it nice and easy, and just making sure that the brakes are released there. The train is rolling nicely, so I think we're good to go. Let's continue adding power. And you can see there the engine RPMs are quite high, and the gearbox hasn't quite caught up yet. That red needle is still quite low. We are going very slowly still, so just going easy here. Now the throttle should be applied in all of these other locomotives as well. Oh. Okay, looks like temperature is already quite high in, I'm thinking, the DE2s behind us, because that red light is on and our temperature is very low still in the DH4, so let's keep it going. I want to try and pick up some speed here because I think there's an incline coming out of here, so that temperature just keeps on climbing in this DE2. What's going on? That's not good. And the amps are quite high as well, so I think this DE2 is working quite hard right now. Got to get the speed up here, so we'll push on forward and see how we go. Yep, here comes the start of the incline. Ah, no. The temperature's already rising. I don't understand what's happening right now. Why is the DE2 suffering already? Okay, we seem to be holding speed. I'm just going to go a little bit easy on the throttle here and try and get a little bit more speed if we can, but this is more or less, we're on the incline now, and the rest of the train hasn't yet started on the incline. Come on. Just looking out for this red light. The moment that red light goes on, oh, and there it goes. That means we've got a temperature issue somewhere with our locomotives, and it's not this DH4. This DH4's got a lot of power. It's most likely our DE2s, so I can hear the train slowing down. I'm gonna need to add more power. We need more power. We're gonna stall otherwise. Oh, the wheels are slipping. Oh, wheels are slipping. Wheels are slipping. Let's add the sand on. Let's add the sand. That red light's really flashing. Oh no! I think we've lost a locomotive. Did you see that flash? I think we've cooked a DE2. Oh no. This is not good. I think we're going to stall the train. I think this 1,000-ton run is done. Oh, there's not much to do right now apart from, yep, okay, I've jumped into this DE2 here and I can hear that buzzer. That means the traction motor circuit breaker is offline. And oh dear, I think I just realized something, folks. I forgot to turn on the trailing DE2. No! Okay, well, that's that, I guess. All this time, we've only had the one DE2 shunting locomotive running, not two of them. It's not going to start now, is it? Let's put it in neutral, try again. Okay, well, I think we might have done some irreparable damage to that other DE2. This one is still okay, but the problem will be now, the other DE2 is going to have reduced output, so that is really a stupid mistake that I've made right there, unfortunately. And we're just rolling back right now with the force of gravity, and I'm just going to arrest that a little bit because it seems like we're going a little bit fast around this curve here, and I don't want to derail this 1,000-ton behemoth with only $800 in my wallet. So yeah, we need to be really careful right now because I really don't have much cash. Alright, well, I made a stupid mistake there, so it's anyone's guess if I'm going to be able to do this right now, because I tell you what, there's going to be some hills in front of us. That incline is quite substantial, and even with this DH4, the fact that we've just got this this compromised DE2, which I'm in right now, it's not looking good. So okay, well, just gonna have to take another run at it because I can't afford to pay any fees right now. I can't afford to repair this thing, and I'm trying to move forward while still going backwards. This is not a good idea. I should just use the brakes, but I'm being lazy, of course. And I expect to see that red light any second now, which is going to tell me that this I'm going to call it the lead DE2, which is the disabled one. This one right here is compromised. Let's turn on the engine and let's see how fast the temperature rises. That's going to tell us how damaged the motor is. And I think that traction motor is a little bit damaged there, because if we go to this trailing DE2, we'll see that the temperature is lower. Yep, see that? That's how it should be. And of course I stupidly didn't run that trailing DE2, so now look at that. We have this lead DE2 which is very, very compromised. So yeah, I'm gonna have to just take it easy or just run it and blow it up again. I don't know. We need to get this train up the hill, folks. So if that means blowing up that one DE2 again, so be it. So be it. So let's see. I expect to see that red light, but I'm just gonna go because we need to get this thing moving, and I don't intend on stalling again. Okay, I can hear the train speeding up. I can hear the whine of those gears from this lovely DH4. Okay, we've got 2 sets of smokestacks now behind us, the way it should be. I can't believe I didn't pick up on that before. That trailing DE2 was just switched off. I think I might ride in here for a moment and just monitor these temps. If we can just try and keep this momentum going, hopefully we can make it over this hill. I'm not looking to speed up this hill at a crazy amount of speed, but at the same time I just don't want to stall. So we've got that trailing DE2 helping us this time. Hopefully that's going to keep our temperatures in check, because we've got additional power, which we should have actually had the first time, but you know, sometimes just don't think. Well, I just don't think. We're starting to slow down again. Don't need those wipers anymore. At least the rain stopped, more or less. Oh no, I can feel the train slowing down. Come on, we've got to make it over this hill. There goes the temp. And I can bet you that is this leading locomotive right here. Yep. It's because we've got that damaged motor. Just gonna have to take it easy. The train's gonna stall if I'm not. If I back off the throttle too much more, and I can't because the train's going to stall and my temps are basically red lined. Get ready for the fireworks part 2. We've really done it now, I think. Still got the sander on. I'm just trying to... I can't believe I'm actually getting wheel slip out of the DH4, even with the slug connected. And you know what? I am just going to have to roll with that DE2 behind us, disconnected from a traction motor point of view, and hopefully the trailing DE2 behind this one doesn't blow up as well, because I realized that it's a little bit interesting actually. I'm not sure why that lead DE2 directly behind us blew up so soon. It's almost like probably the DH4's power was going through it, and maybe it was overheating the motor. I'm not too sure, but we'll just have to wait and see. If that trailing DE2 blows up as well, we are really in trouble then, because I'm not sure if the DH4's electrical power is going to reach the slug, because it's not directly connected to the slug. I've heard that your locomotive needs to be directly connected to the slug in order to feed its power to it. So I don't know. This is one crazy combination we've got going right here. But yes, I'm running with just the one trailing DE2 now. The lead one is basically fused out, and I estimate that we're only about here on the map so far, so only just coming out of our departure location. So we've still got a long way to go. But the good news is at least we haven't stalled. I can hear the cooler, the oil cooler on the DH4 keeping our transmission nice and cool, or cool-ish. So we are at the moment making progress at least. I'm hoping we can pick up some momentum in just a moment. Once we are onto this bridge, oh, do I dare add a little bit more power? If that blue light goes on, that's when the cooler, the oil cooler turns on. Yep, there it goes. You can see that blue light just there. That's hopefully going to keep our oil temps in check, but that's obviously only for this locomotive. I'm hoping we're not cooking that trailing DE2 at the moment. We'll find out soon enough if we see some explosions, if we see another or hear another explosion in just a moment. This was really not ill-planned, but, well, kind of ill-planned. I wish I had turned on that second DE2. We probably wouldn't be in this situation now. So that's bad, just bad form on my part. Apologies, folks, on that one. Yep, there goes the red light. We're going to have to back off the throttle because we are cooking the DH4 as well right now. I'm desperately just trying to get the speed going. Okay, thankfully we are building some momentum now. I think we are on some level ground, and more of the train is on a level ground as each second goes by. So, yep, I know, you're getting hot, We'll just keep the power on. Got to keep this momentum up if we can. Let's have a look at this. Yep, okay. Let's turn on the breaker and watch how fast that traction motor just warms up. At least it's giving us a bit of power right now, and we'll turn off the breaker on the traction motor. Yeah, you can see there, this trailing DE2 is doing really well, I must say. I'm not sure why. It's a different situation now. The train's sped up a bit, and yep, we're cooking this poor old damaged DE2 once again. Just apply some throttle here, which is applying throttle to all the other locomotives, even though that locomotive there was not connected to its motors. That is one heavy train, folks. 1,000 tons on the move. I'm just cycling this traction motor breaker on and off right now on this lead DE2. Thankfully we are picking up speed though, so I think soon, or very shortly anyway, we are going to be out of the woods for the moment, and we'll be on some level grounds, and then probably even some downhill sections. So I think we might be okay, even with the mistakes that are made here. I'm blaming myself for this entirely. Ah, no. Important thing is to keep the train moving, because I need to make that time bonus, and I need to finish this job as well. Otherwise, what sort of episode 10 is this? This was meant to be a celebratory episode, making it to double digits, but that's just the way Derail Valley goes, isn't it? Something always has to go wrong. That's the direction we need to head off. So to the right, we need to bear off to the right. We're more or less at that location there on the map. There's a junction coming up, so yeah, need to bear off to the right, and then, yeah, come down, and we should be okay. I think after that we'll have a nice level section, and then a straight section as well. Just keep the thing moving, keep the train moving, even if one of the DE2s is doing nothing right now. Yeah, once those circuit breakers blow, you're actually doing damage to the traction motor as well. You can't just flip the breaker on and expect it to be 100% like it was. I mean, you might get lucky, but I think the game does simulate that damage randomization there. Anyway, I think obviously the DH4, which we're riding in right now, is doing the majority of this heavy lifting, so keep the power on. Yeah, let's get this motor going once again. Yeah, there's something is definitely wrong here with this traction motor or traction motor controller. As soon as I turn it on, the amps just go through the roof there. So unfortunately, just leaving that one disabled for the moment. You can hear that buzzer. So we're down to just that one DE2 at the rear plus our DH4. Let's keep the power on because I don't want to get stuck. You can see there the engine is revving out to over 1,000 RPM and the gearbox is only doing about 200. So there's lots of friction being developed right now in this DH4. That's why the temps are rising, but the cooler is working. Yep, and there's the sign that says it's level ground. Thankfully. Finally, I think we are on some level ground. We just need to wait for the rest of the train to get onto this level ground. And then we should start picking up speed. And maybe even start going down some hills. Then we'll be worried about going too fast, no doubt. So yes, I estimate that we are more or less in this location here. We've got this section to come down, 2 more junctions, and then this straight. And then, like I said a few times before there, that last incline before the steel mill, so I've got to keep a lookout for that one. I must say this DH4 is a very stately locomotive though, even with 1,000 tons behind, plus the slug which is 100 ton, and these 2 DE2s which are 50-50 providing some power. This DH4 is definitely handling this load like a champ. The jury's out whether the slug's actually helping us, to be honest with you, because, you know, part of me is thinking maybe I should have just connected the DH4 directly to the slug, maybe. But that's neither here nor there at the moment, because it looks like we are going downhill, so we've made it for now. And it's time to just give the locomotives a good old rest. The poor things have been working hard. So I've gotten off the throttle completely here, and we just need to make sure we keep our speed in check, because I know we are going to start increasing in speed. So let's get onto the brake just a little bit. Can't believe I'm braking now. We don't want to go past about 40 on these curves. The last thing we want to do is derail with only 800 bucks in the old wallet. That's a good way to bankrupt yourself. You've got to be careful in career mode. And once again, I've broken my own rule of making sure I've always got at least my co-pay amount in my wallet. I have nothing like that once again. But we'll see how we go. I think we've got the train under control for the moment, so that's a good thing. So we'll just keep on going. seems like we've got this nice downhill section for a little while now, so birds are singing, weather's on our side. I think we're going okay for the moment. Let's just keep the train rolling. Look at that, what a beautiful afternoon in the valley. Got those sun shafts just coming through the trees there as we meander our way through. I like that little window actually at the bottom of the DH4 there, just by your legs. You can kind of see what's going on through there. Just managing the brakes and just keeping our momentum under control here. Don't want to go too fast. As soon as I get off the brake, this train just wants to accelerate because we are on a downhill section, so just need to keep the momentum in check here. Right, so we're coming up to our set of points here. We need to make sure we go off to the right hand side, which we are. Horn. Bit late. But anyway. Okay, let's get the power going a little bit here because I want to get the speed going. This is level ground territory now, not downhill anymore. So speed limit 60 around here, and we're doing nowhere near that at the moment. The day is getting on, and I'm starting to get a little bit worried that because we had that stalling issue and we had to roll back, I don't want to lose out on that time bonus. So I'm going to get the power going. I'm going to try and get the speed up here. And I want to try and beat the sun as well. I want to try and get to the steel mill before it gets too late and too dark. Like I've said in previous episodes, I don't like driving in the dark, especially on these videos, because it's just hard to see for you folks as well. Alright, looks like we've got our nice straight section more or less coming up here. Actually, we do have one more set of points coming up. Just need to make sure we bear off to the right hand side again. And our speed is still sub 30k an hour, so let's get the power going, get the power going. 60k an hour. Come on. Let's go ahead and just find out where we need to be in the meantime. Steel mill. Okay, so B3I that was. So if we look at the station map here, let's go to B yard. Yep, okay, so B3I, so it's the second off to the left there. Yep, that's fine. Let's get the speed going. Yep, got a 70 coming up, so still heaps of buffer. Make sure the brakes are off. Let's get the speed up. One reason I get the speed up as well is there is that nasty little incline just before the steel mill, just by that engine shed, so I don't want to stall on that hill. Oh, that engine's just screaming at 1,000 RPM. And the gearbox is catching up, so that's good. This is the Derail Valley Express, 1,000 plus tons. I think we're in this area right here. We've got this long sweeping curve, and then we've got this nice straight section ahead of us, so yeah, that's 120k an hour limit zone, that straight. So yeah, let's get the power on, pretty much full throttle now. Yep, still doing fine for speed limit. That's an 80 that we've just gone past. This is what 1,000 plus tons looks like on the move. Ooh, okay, we're warming something up. That's the DH4. Just crossing the bridge here. Still doing sub 50. It's not easy to get this thing moving. 70k an hour limit and increasing after this, so we'll keep the speed on. Just racing the sun right now. At least we've got a nice and short run, I would call it, today. It's not too long. Because we've got this nice straight run ahead of us, we shouldn't shouldn't be too long now before we get to the steel mill where where our destination is. So let's just keep on going. Full throttle. That's a 100k an hour zone. Just interested in seeing how this poor old trailing DE2 is going. I can hear it revving away right now. And thankfully, yeah, okay. Very healthy. Look at that. I don't know, this DE2 is perfect. Maybe the other one would have run like this as well if I just turned on both of these DE2s in the first place. Yeah, we're closing in on 60. Okay. Let's just keep an eye out. I think the DH4 is getting a bit hot. That DE2 in front of us is not connected up, so it's not doing anything. It's basically just this trailing one feeding into the slug, plus the DH4. Speaking of, let's make our way back to the DH4 now. Right, so back at the head of the train now, almost. Just having some trouble getting in there. Okay, this is... yeah, we're getting closer to the steel mill here, so we've got to be careful. The steel mill does come up rather quickly. Yep, okay, we're pushing the limits of the speed here, and here comes that incline. But we've got heaps of momentum right now, because we are a 1,000-ton train. It's not just going to slow down like that. I'm tempted to actually get off the power, actually, because yeah, we're kind of squealing away. Yep, okay, here comes the incline and a 60. We're going just over 60. Let's just get off the power. Let this thing coast up the hill. How about that? It's coasting up the hill. But because we've got such a heavy train, the momentum is just absolutely significant. And it's carried us over the hill without any power required. And there's the steel mill already, so let's get the power on. I mean, sorry, the brake on. Brake on. Not the power. Don't need the power. We're done with our power for today, I think. Caused enough trouble and damage as it is. Right, so we need to go off to the left. 2 points. So, yep, straight through here. Make sure we go left at the next set of switches or points. Let's just slow this thing down a little bit. Yep, so let's go left and left, yep, and then there needs to be a right. The brakes are coming on quite hard. Let's get off the brake, otherwise this thing's going to grind to a halt all too soon. Yep. Okay, points are set correctly. So we should be going into B3I now. And we are already here. How about that? That was a nice quick run. Like I said, I think if I kept that second DE2 on, or if I had it turned on in the first place, we would have been fine. I think that's a bit of a lesson for the future. When I go to move the consist for the first time, make sure just turn all the locomotives on. You're going to need to turn them all on anyway. I don't know why I just turned on one DE2. Anyway, this is the siding we need to be, so we'll just bring the horn there. And I'll just go ahead and go to the other end of this siding, because it's a long train, and then we'll go ahead and park up for the night. Okay, that's it. That's all she wrote. I think we are safe now to just apply all the brakes. Let's get the handbrakes going here and turn the engine off. Just get these lights off. Turn off the breakers. Alright, DH4 secure. Let's go ahead and sort out the other locomotives as well. This poor old DE2 which has taken a beating today. Yes, I know, I can hear the buzzer. Trying to... You know what? Let's just go ahead and put the put the handbrake on here first because I just realized that... Oh, what the heck. Might as well just turn everything off first. I'm just a little bit worried. I've got this time bonus in my mind now. I'm a little bit worried that maybe I'm about to lose the time bonus. So part of me reckons I should be heading off to the station building right now. But anyway, let's just secure these locomotives for what it's worth. I'll take a quick look at this thing before I bolt for the station. Yes, so that's it. That's our combo for today. Or that was our combo for today. You know, if I turned on the other DE2, that trailing one at the very end, I think that we wouldn't have had an issue at all. We would have just been smooth sailing the entire way. But anyway, let's just go ahead and go to the station building and validate our job, and then we'll come back and do a little bit of a wrap up, I guess. So let's just go ahead and get our money first. Quick. Okay, come on, quick with the time, with the drop card. Let's go. Yes, we made it. All right, excellent. So that's 35k there, and we've made the time bonus, so that is $53,000. Not bad. So we are back up to 54 grand, just over 54 grand now. Okay, let me go back and summarize these locomotives. Okay, so yes, this is the DH4, the DE2, the slug, and then the DE2. So I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is a competent combination. I mean, it's no DE6, but obviously we don't have the cash to get a DE6 license. That's in the hundreds of grand, I think, last I checked. So, yeah, the slug, getting some good money's worth out of the slug. Like I said, if we had turned on, or if I had turned on that second DE2 properly in the first place, I think we would have had a trouble-free run this time, even with that 1,000-ton. But yes, I'm quite confident that this is a 1,000-ton capable combination right here. To be honest with you, even just the DH4 is probably capable of doing 1,000-ton, but you have to factor in inclines and hills, obviously, within the terrain. So I think having the slug and these extra two DE2s is a good idea. And unfortunately, I haven't yet managed to run with the two DE2s running at once at full capacity, because one of them was a little bit damaged. So, but I'm sure that with both of the DE2s running with the slug plus the DH4, that we'll have a competent combination here. So I'm thinking maybe next run we can go down to Harbour and Town, maybe. I'm not too sure, but this combination is probably what I'll be using again in the next episode. Yes, episode 11. Going to keep going with career mode. And yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments on what you think, what your opinions are on this combination as well. I know not the best match locomotive-wise. The DH4 is vastly superior to these little DE2 shunters behind it, but then again we do have the slug as well, and it's hard to say. Maybe just the DH4 and the slug would be better than these DE2s here. Not too sure. Are these just like glorified firecrackers at this point? Not too sure. Surely they've got to be helping. Okay, well, might as well just wrap up now. Let's go ahead and look at our fees. Ooh, okay. Now this is where it gets a bit interesting, because it's telling me I've got to pay 38 grand to clear these fees out. And it looks like there's about 37 grand's worth of fees there. To be honest with you, I think manual servicing will cut all of this in half. I believe. This is where manual servicing... I'm getting lazy, to be honest with you. I can't be bothered disconnecting the locos and manually servicing them right now. I should though, because this is the DH4 right here, and it's racked up a little bit of... normal wear and tear, just nothing too crazy. But yeah, I mean, even the other DE2s, there's only like 11 and 12 grand between them, even though one of them is, I thought, pretty much damaged, you know, with that traction motor issue. But anyway, yeah, might as well just go and pay the money and just be mindful, I guess. I don't know, maybe I'll have to start doing some off-camera manual servicing here, because this is all at double the rate right now. So I could quite literally just take the time, manually service, and cut this fee in half. Yeah, that's a lot of money to be paying. I don't know. I think I'm just going to pay it and get it done this time. But I'll tell you what, I'm gonna have to be careful in the future because the copay is quite high, and I've only got 54k now. We did make some good money from this job, but at the same time, look at our copay. It's $38,000 at the moment. So, but licenses owned 11 out of 22. So we've got half our licenses in the bag right now. So episode 10, and we've got half our licenses. And yeah, fee tolerance 8.5. Oh yeah, that's 8 grand. Copay totals quite high. Anyway, let's go ahead and just look at some of these other jobs. Ooh, okay, we've got this. This is an interesting one. Deliver steel rails to harbour and town. 969 ton. Yeah, to be honest with you, the run from here to harbour and town is not too bad. There is a bit of an incline coming out of here, heading to the west. But otherwise, this is probably going to pay us the most money. And we should be able to do this with our nice locomotive combo. So, yeah, I think I'll probably do this for episode 11. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. And if you've made it this far as well, thank you so much once again for watching. Please like the video if you did enjoy it. And if you're new to the channel, hopefully you'll subscribe. Hopefully you've enjoyed this run that we did from Food Factory here. As you can see, that was, yeah, that was all the inclines and whatnot. All taken into account, went down the straight and blasted up that last incline as well, even with that damaged DE2. Anyway, this is the job I'm looking at, but yeah, we'll see what happens anyway. Might choose this, go down to Harbour and Town, but to be honest, I've been down to Harbour and Town a few times so far already, so maybe I'll choose something different, just in the interest of keeping things interesting, even if it makes a little bit less money. We'll see. And I'll catch you all in the next one.